Hey, it's Mia.
Hey, it's Kennedy, and this is The Silver Lining with M and K. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
We are going to be consistent this summer, I promise. Just have a lot going on. But today, just jump right in.
Should we?
Yeah.
Today we're talking about advice to our past selves. And
Also, sorry.
Go
so
ahead.
sorry. We're out of school.
Oh, we are out of school. It is summer. BTW.
It is summer, and we're very happy about it. I want this to be kind of like a growth summer for me. Like, I want to be a different person at the end of this, but like in a better way. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think
In a
that
good way.
there's definitely things that I would need to get done. I want to get done, goals, and the person that I want to be. I feel like every single day I'm stepping closer and closer to that.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. But when you're saying this, my birthday's in 20 days. I want everyone to wish me a happy birthday in approximately 20 days.
June 21st.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're saying thank you
Yes.
before they even... Okay.
Yes, because they were like, happy early birthday, Mia.
Well,
and I was like,
oh,
you shouldn't have. What'd you get me?
There'll be a Thursday that's closer to your birthday.
Okay, but I'm just giving them the countdown.
Okay, so you want them to know June 1st and like count down each day?
Yes.
Okay.
Start a calendar right now.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, today we are talking about advice to our past selves and things that we wish that we knew.
Yeah.
This is not going to be the most lighthearted episode, I feel like.
It's not. And it's also not going to be... We are not therapists. We are
absolutely
students
not. Yeah.
who have just learned things. And yeah, that's our little disclaimer. You already know.
As we say every single time, this is the perspective of two Black teenage girls.
Yeah. Who this podcast is just an extension of ourselves, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So do you want to start, Kennedy?
Yes. So one of the things that I had to learn was that some people will never be on the level to understand what you're trying to explain to them. Like, sometimes I always, emphasize communication, but sometimes there are things that people literally just do not understand. And not that you are better than them or that you understand more than them. Some people willfully will not get on board to learn and communicate with you and try to understand what you're saying. So sometimes it's better to just leave it alone and maybe somebody else can explain it to them, but you tried. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think that makes sense.
Like, some people will never understand where you're trying to go. Like, say you're trying to explain Christianity to somebody and someone's just willfully ignorant and doesn't want to explain something to you. It's not your duty to make them understand. You know what I mean?
Yes. This ties into one of mine because I say, like, pick your battles. Like, I didn't agree with that before, and I would always like try to like explain like every single thing. I would always try to be like, no, like the reason why this is wrong is because whatever, like everybody should get the opportunity to do this or whatever it is. Like, I always tried to like really advocate for every single thing, but sometimes, guys, it's okay to just be like, you know what, you got it. Like, you can let somebody have it because you don't have to waste your time and your energy on somebody that's not going to even like grasp it. You're just stressing
or
yourself
is choosing
out.
Not to.
Exactly. And
So,
I definitely, you know what, there's actually one situation that I still, like, when I was writing this down, like, I was thinking about it because I was like, I did pick my battles on that one. I did let that go. And sometimes I think about it, but I just know that the time, like, what I was dealing with at the time, like, it would not have helped me at all to fight with that person at all. Like, I was not going to take it higher. I was not going to be like, this is unfair and this is why, and really point out everything because I did not have the energy to, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I think, and when you get a little bit older, you learn a lot about the ego. You learn a lot about what feeds your ego and what your ego needs, and trying to be right all of the time, having to have the last word, is your ego talking. Sometimes we have to let that down, and when we let it down, we can become the truest version of ourselves. So it's not always about who was in the wrong in this situation, and I did nothing wrong, and I did this and I did that. Sure, defend yourself, but you don't always have to have the last word. It is okay to be wrong. It is okay for people to think that you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're never gonna go through life having someone think exactly what you want them to think. You can't control what you want somebody to think of you, and you can't control the narrative. Sometimes you're wrong, or sometimes you're right, and sometimes people think that you're wrong, and sometimes we just have to move on and choose peace.
Yeah, just literally, like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Literally just let it go. What's my...
Because it's just easier, you know?
It really is just easier. I mean, sometimes I can understand and I will, like, definitely do it. But at other times, you have to just know that, like, sometimes it's okay. Like,
and this is coming from me. Like, I'd love to argue, like, for fun.
Agreed.
I love to just, like, debate and stuff and see where different people's perspectives come from. But sometimes you have to let it go for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how people forgive just for them? Like, sometimes you just have to say, okay, I'm laying down my torch, but it's just for me. Like, I'm doing this for me because I need this peace of mind and I can't keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, entirely. One of my next one is, I think this one's a main one for me, and I'll get the Christianity out, just get it over with, okay? But to turn to God. Yeah. And I feel like oftentimes in my past, I would turn to worldly things and I'd be like, okay, like, let's see if I can do this and do that and do this. And reality, I could have just opened that Bible. Yeah. Like, I could have just seeked God and I could have just sought out ways to help myself through God and ask him for help. And I never had to do it alone. Like, I never had to try to do any of it by myself because God was always there waiting for me to ask him to help me. Like, I wish that if I could tell my past self, I would be like, go to God.
Yeah.
Please.
And that's one of mine too. God is the only way. Like,
yes.
We used to turn to worldly things, and try to fulfill like a God-sized hole.
Exactly.
Nothing can fulfill a God-sized hole but God, but the Holy Spirit, but Jesus, like all of that. So I think also being proud to be a Christian, I think that at one point it had gotten such a bad rep that I didn't want to be associated with it.
Me too.
But nothing changes if you aren't a part of that change. Like, if you see change, be the change. So me calling myself a Christian, I can change the narrative of what someone else thinks of a Christian. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can change what that means to somebody else when all of they've had is a harassing Christian, a Christian that doesn't accept, that doesn't love like Jesus loves, like we're called to do. I can change that. I can be a part of that narrative. So I think the enemy kept me in fear for a long time of like being proud to say I am a Christian, I follow Jesus, I follow the Bible, but now I proudly do it because when you compare that little thing to everything that God has done, will do in the future for you, it's minimal. Like, it's dismal, actually.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree that there was like a time period where it was like, what was it, like what are those Christians called? I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like where they were just so like, oh my gosh, like just like berating. Is that the word?
Yeah.
They were doing that to people and whatever, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I hate Christians because they just do this, whatever. Yeah. And it was like, it wasn't like maybe their intentions were right, but I believe that their way of going about trying to spread the word and convert people was like kind of bad.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a time period where I was like, I don't want to claim that. But,
and you're like, that's not me. Like, that's not who I am. I don't want people to think that. But you change the way that people think when they think it, when they see a positive example of what they have a negative connotation to, you know?
Yeah, because this guy literally told me, he was like, okay, like, you're not a bad Christian. Like, that's what he said to me. Because I was like, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Or, like, you can do that. Like, that's completely fine. Like, I'm not a judgmental person.
Right.
And I feel like that person had encountered a lot of judgmental Christians or whatever he had experienced in his life, which was completely valid. And I'm like, that, like, the way that he's feeling is completely valid, because if any of the stuff that happened to him happened to any of us, we would be like, okay, like, maybe we don't like that group of people, which is understandable.
Another one of mine kind of has to do with like the realm of friendships, and it's that, one, you can't want better for someone more than they want it for themselves, and two, you can't be the only person putting in effort in a relationship and expect for you to be happy and for the friendship to progress. It's literally impossible. And that it's okay to outgrow friendships. Like, there are some people who are here for a season, here for a lesson, here for a lifetime. And some of those people that we believe are going to be there for a lifetime are only there to teach you something. And it's okay to let go of that, because there's always, not that there's always better, but you will always end up being okay. Like, it's not like you will never have friends ever. It's not like something will happen and, you know, you're lonely and alone. Like, it always changes. Your life is literally ever changing, always changing. So,
yeah,
it never stays constant.
Expand on the first one that you said.
What did I say? You can't want. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think just like for friends, especially if you're in a toxic friendship, you have conversations, you want them to do better, you want them to change, but if they don't want to make that effort, or if they're not making that effort, it's okay to leave it.
Valid.
Like, it's okay to move past it and say, okay, this isn't serving me anymore, because at the end of the day, the person that you go to bed with, the person that you're born with, the person that you die with is yourself.
Literally, yeah. And God.
And you always have to put yourself first. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to be in this to help somebody, but what if you're not helping yourself? Because do you know how many people are self-serving in this world? And I'm not saying that I'm selfish or that I don't have a heart to give, because I do, but I'm saying when it comes down to it, the only person that's going to care more about taking care of yourself is you. Someone else is not going to say, oh, she has to take care of herself, let me not do what I'm doing to her. It's you, and you have to be your biggest advocate and stand up for yourself and say, I don't deserve this, I don't need this, I have to leave this, and have the courage to do that too.
Yeah, that's good. My next one is going to be, closure can be achieved without an apology. Now, this is something that I genuinely battled with, because I'd always want closure in every single situation. I'd be like, no, let's just have closure. Let's just gain an understanding of each other. Let's just do this, whatever. Because I'm such like a person that wants to understand exactly where you're coming from. Because I can understand multiple viewpoints. I can like, even things that I don't think that I'd agree with. If I understand why you think that way, like, I get it. Like, I completely agree. And I'd probably think that way too if I understand. So this is like an issue, because obviously, like Kennedy said, like, people aren't always going to understand.
Yeah.
So it was like limiting me and like keeping me from gaining closure on situations, because all I wanted was for the person to understand me and be like, no, I get that, because I'm like, well, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just too much. And I think that one of the biggest things, the most helpful things that I learned is that I can gain closure on my own. Like, I don't have to explain myself to this person. They don't have to understand where I'm coming from. And I don't have to know everything that they want to say. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, if I cannot get that, I'd still love it. Like, I still like having closure and understanding, but it's not necessary for me to move past something anymore.
Yeah. And I had a situation where it was just very closed case. Like, just like,
it's dead.
Me remembers. It was just like very like one day it is and one day it's not. And I had to navigate that and move past that. And like, funny enough, I didn't really need that closure. Like, I just felt like if it ended the way it did, that was the closure. Like, I don't need anything else.
That's all you needed.
But that, yeah. But you just have to pick yourself up and say, okay, I have to move to the next thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes people are never going to be mature enough to give you what you want, and you have to be okay with that and say, you are not at the level that I that can give me what I need right now, so I have to be okay with that.
Yeah, entirely.
Okay, my next one is to never settle. I think this is something that's really important. And it goes for everything: academics, relationships, friendships. If you have a goal in mind and it's not happening for you right away, where that be, like, it can be academics and there's this class or this grade or this GPA that you really, really want, never settle, because when you settle, you are always going to end up with an end result that disappoints you.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to be disappointing to you because your expectation of what you wanted is lower. You lowered it for whatever it is. So sticking to what you believe in is always going to fare better for you, because there's always going to be something that satisfies what you've been looking for. If you're patient, there will always be something, and settling for it is never going to fully give you everything you want.
Yeah, it's only delaying what you could have had.
I like that.
Yeah, because I think there's always going to be better, and I feel like I was literally telling one of my friends this because she was like crying about this whole situation, and I was like, girl, there's literally gonna be better. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, I know right now it doesn't seem like it, right now it doesn't feel like it, right now it feels like this is the end all be all, but I guarantee that it's not. There's something so much better waiting around that corner, and you like, this wasn't it, you know what I'm saying? This lacked so many things, and maybe you didn't think it did, but clearly, you know what I'm saying, it did.
And this relates to like how I felt about my life. Like when I was manifesting and trying to create my own reality, I just realized that I could have been settling for less than what God had me, which blew my mind, because it was like, wait, I could have better than I can dream of. Does that make sense? Like, I was creating this dream reality, what I thought was my dream reality, my dream life. And then God was like, but you're settling for something that I haven't given you. You know what I mean? It's like the tree that I mentioned in previous episodes, in our last Christianity episode, of me getting that piece of fruit and then it panning out and it's like a whole orchard, and I'm just settling for this one thing because that's all my brain can literally like think of.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking in a 2D, and that's all my brain can capacitate, and God is looking in a 3D. And it's because I settled, but you don't even know that you settled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
So I think never changing what you know is destined for you, and then also what you believe in. I feel like a lot of people our age especially will settle for a relationship just because they want to be in one, or settle for a guy because they have some of the qualities but not all of the qualities. Nobody's perfect. No one's going to fit everything that you want them to be. But when you ultimately settle for less, you are selling yourself short for what you could have had, because there's always going to be better. There's always going to be somebody who says, is that all? When the last person said, that's too much, or that's, oh my God, that's a lot. You're asking for a lot. And then the next person's like, is that all? Is that all you need? Because I could do more. You know what I mean? I think we always have to look outside of our current reality and say, this could get better.
It could, and it will.
And it will.
And I feel like a lot of who's settling, especially in like a relationship, is because you're not comfortable being by yourself.
Yeah.
Be comfortable alone.
Yeah.
That was a piece of advice, but that's like for my past self, but like that wasn't my little.
No, that's also, I feel like, for my past self. Like, yes. I feel like
it's okay to be alone. It doesn't always, being alone doesn't mean that you're lonely.
Yes. And I used to say, oh, I'm a relationship person. I still would rather be in a relationship than anything else. You know what I'm saying? But that was a crutch to really say, oh, I don't want to be alone because I don't know myself, and I don't want to be alone because I haven't spent time with myself just sitting in who I am and liking and enjoying and, you know, and learning who you are, learning what you like, what you don't like, what you love, what you don't love, you know?
Yeah, you need, like, know you for you by yourself.
Right. And it was a mask. It's like, oh, like, I'm just such a relationship person, like, which means, I can jump into this, into this, into this, and no one's going to think anything because she's such a relationship person.
Yeah.
But she really just can't sit by herself. Yeah. And learn about who she is.
That was deep.
And you have to do that because when you get into a healthy relationship, you're not going to spend 24/8 with the person that you're with.
And also those issues are going to start coming up. Right. Like every time that you think that like, ooh, like avoided that and like you're in the relationship, it's going good, just give it a second because I promise you it's coming back.
And this actually reminds me of a show that we're watching right now. And she does not know who she is.
She doesn't.
And it's
like she's lost.
It's making such a problem in the relationship because she doesn't know how do you know what to ask for if you don't know what you like?
No, literally. And it's like she was with this other girl and whatever the other girl wanted, okay, then she wanted it and then went back. Like, it's like, you don't know what do you want? I need you to
and you almost mold. You almost mold to the relationship that you're in because you don't know anything else. So you become like a mask, a chameleon of this person because you're with them all the time, but you don't know what you really like. Do you like Pringles? Do you like pickles?
Do you?
Oh,
are you sure?
Do you love communication? Do you hate distance? Like, what do you enjoy? And this is like we were saying that she needs to break up with her partner because she needs to find herself. Yeah. How can you build a relationship if you don't know where the relationship is. A relationship takes two people, two personalities, two identities, two morals, two sets of beliefs.
Know your identity.
And if you don't have that, then it's just one person. What are you working off of?
Literally.
So learn yourself, please.
Yes. Okay, my next one is you can forgive somebody and also like not allow them into any next stage of your life. Like you can leave them exactly where they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that I really like struggled with, because every time I'd forgive somebody, I'd be like, oh, okay, that means you forgive them and you go back to everything, how everything is. No, you don't. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Like if your husband, sorry, this is extreme. If your husband of like 8 years cheats on you, or like you know what I'm saying? Like something like so bad, like a friend truly betrays you, and you're like, no, that's it. Like that's the last straw. Like, but you forgive them because forgiveness, you're supposed to. Yeah. And obviously you want to forgive them for your own sake. Like forgiveness is not necessarily only for them, it's for yourself. Yeah. And you don't have to continue that marriage, or you don't have to continue that friendship. You can be like, okay, that was enough. You disrespected me, and I know my worth, and I forgive you. However, it's over. Like it's done. Like
I think a lot of people look at forgiveness as a ticket back into someone's life. Like they're like, oh, we forget. Oh, we're friends again. Oh, we're back together.
That's how I looked at it.
Oh, we're mom and daughter again. Like that's not what that means. Like it's not what that means. Forgiving is as much for them as it is for yourself. Yeah. And forgiving doesn't mean, hey, I'm okay with what you did. It means I'm healing and I had to move past and accept and process what you did, because I have to keep going. Like I have to keep living, and I can't sit in what you did. Yeah. That doesn't mean, oh, we're back together again. Because what if they are the same person with the same mannerisms and same behaviors? Right. You're going to forgive them and then they're going to go back. No, you're going to forgive them and then you're going to set boundaries, because you don't want that to happen again, you know?
Exactly. Forgiving and then setting boundaries. I kid you not, but I looked at it as like, if I was not in the same whatever it was before, like if I'm not friends with this person still, then I didn't forgive them. Like I used to look at it as like, I don't know, like an exchange, like, oh, you're giving me your forgiveness, okay, like, and I'm giving you everything that how it was back before. Like no, like you don't have to do that. Like you can forgive somebody and you don't have to tell them you forgive them. You can just forgive them,
and if you think about it, you change after. Like you change after whatever they did to you. So why would you let them back into your life? Like you're like forgiving them because of what you learned from the situation. Yeah. Why would you're going to say, oh, I forgive you. Oh, come back into my life and do the same thing. No. Like I don't even appreciate, but I've learned and I've processed and I've went through everything that you did. And now I'm going to set boundaries, and now I've learned what that looks like in other people. Now I've learned what I don't want in a future friendship or relationship or whatever. That's what that person is being forgiven for, you know? Yeah, 100%. It's not like
oh, we're cool again. No.
Yeah,
no.
It's like, oh, you cheat on me and then we're friends again. What?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to.
And if you see no improvement in their behavior, what? Like, no. Yeah. Okay, my next one is that when you go forth with everything you have, you leave with no regrets. And I'm a perfectionist. I like for everything to be perfect. I hold myself up to a really, really high standard that I can't even meet sometimes. And I'm really hard on myself about everything. But one thing that I have kind of held on to is that at the end of the day, if I feel proud and I really did everything that I could in a friendship, in a relationship, with a grade, with an assignment, then I can go to sleep proud. Like I can go home, I can go to bed, I can wake up proud of what I did. And even if I don't succeed, you still did everything that you could, and you have to be okay with that instead of nitpicking everything that you could have done, because that's been my cycle for so long. And I think you really just have to take from it and be like, okay, maybe I didn't win, maybe I didn't get the grade that I wanted, but why? But how? How can I look at this? And if you did everything that you could, then be proud of that, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with this. Like, I'm very much a person that's like, okay, like, we're just not going to regret anything. Yeah. Whatever I wish that I could say, I'm going to say it. Whatever I wish that I could do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, whatever it is. And then at that point, you can't blame yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you did everything that you could do, and it is what it is.
Right.
Like, you can let it go, and I feel like you can sleep easy.
Right. And
knowing you did what you could do.
And I feel like that with friendships too. If this is not working, and I've done everything in my power, you know, even when it's not working, to make it work.
Yeah.
I did everything that I could. I did everything possible that I could, so I can't feel bad about it. And the way that you prevent regret is by committing to something, by putting your whole heart forward. Because the only time when you don't is when you know that you could have done more, when you know that you could have done better, when you know that you could have done something differently. And that happens inevitably in life. But you can prevent it more when you commit to and you do and you show up and you do everything that you said that you were going to do, or do everything that's needed.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that my fear of regret is a little bit unhealthy at times. I'll admit, because I'm such a I overthink, and I take so long to make decisions, and I want everyone's opinion. I'm like, is this good? Even about what I'm wearing, I overthink it so much, because I'm like, what if tomorrow I regret it and it's like hot, or what if it's like cold in this class? It's usually cold in this class. What if whatever? Like, I will be like, I don't want to regret any decision that I make. So I will run through every possibility. So I don't know if my way of doing it is entirely healthy, but I will definitely sometimes it'll be like, okay, babes, like, this person clearly does not care.
Yeah.
You can stop. Like, you can stop trying to care for them if they don't care. But I don't want to regret it. I'm like, wait, but what if this last time that I say this, like, is really what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
But then you also have to realize, like, these little things, unless it's life or death, or irreparably damaging a relationship, or irreparably damaging your body or something like that, a lot of these little things, if it goes wrong, it's okay.
It is okay.
Like, if it goes wrong, if you wear a t-shirt and it's supposed to rain and you make a mistake, okay, you made a mistake, it's raining, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these things that we harp on, and I'm victim of this too, everything that we all these small little details, like, in hindsight, when you look at the big picture, they're so small.
It really is so small.
They're so minute.
You're not going to remember it in 2 years.
And perfectionism is not going to get you into heaven. God is not looking for a perfect person. He never asked for that. He never signed up for that.
He never expected that.
Right.
Because we're not perfect, and we will never be.
Right. Being the prettiest person, being the smartest person, that's not what he's asking for. Being the most athletic person, he doesn't care
at all
about that. Like, of course he cares about your interests and your passions, but when it comes to salvation, he doesn't care
at all
about any of it. What's your next one?
My next one is actions speak louder than words. And I know this is a little bit cliche, but guys, the delusional era is over. Okay, that's over. That man didn't text your phone.
Yeah.
And you know how it would be like that TikTok trend that's like, when he takes a picture on his phone and he knows that I have a phone too. Yeah. So he's in love with me or something.
Yeah.
Stop.
When we both have E's in our names, so we know that we're everlasting.
We're locked in for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
When he has 9 letters in his name and I'm the one, so yeah.
Exactly. And it's no. Those actions, whatever that man is telling you, and I hate when I see this, because I'm like, okay, maybe he told you, oh yeah, I want you, I love you. But when's the last time he spoke to you? When's the last time that he made an effort? When's the last time he asked you how you were doing today? When's the last time? I feel like people will always be especially if they're telling you that they're gonna change. This is a big one.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
This is this is what I could tell my past self, is that a person might say that they're trying, and you want to be considerate of that, and you want to, whatever their trying looks like. Maybe you're okay, maybe they actually are trying. Their actions, babes. If somebody wanted to, then they genuinely would. Right. So if their actions aren't aligning, I want you to set a deadline in your head. Be okay, I'm going to give this person till then. I'm going to give this person, maybe if they start doing this more or this or whatever it is, then okay, you can keep them. But if they're not, and they keep telling you these sweet nothings and just being oh, I'm going to do that. But they're not going to do that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I had this conversation with Mia probably a couple of years ago, and I was like, someone's not going to change if it's inconvenient for them to do so.
Talk about it, Kennedy. No. Actually, guys, hear this. Like, actually hear this.
So I was trying to, like, me and Mia were having this conversation. I was trying to explain, and I actually told my friends this like 2 days ago. Say that you're in a relationship, right? And he says that he's going to change. He says that he's going to do this. He says that he's going to do that. All these are words, right? And you're just looking for the action. You're like, if he actually does this, we can get back together. If he actually does this, we can work on ourselves. I can do better.
No, he can fix this.
Right. We can fix this. We can be better than we were. We can, be what I know we can be. Be happy. Not argue all the time. And you're saying, all I need is this action, right? But he knows in his head, first of all, a man is never going to do what he doesn't want to do. Second of all, if he knows in his head that you are going to take him back, it actually doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
If you put yourself if you're this person and you know that the end result is that you're going to end up back with this person, why would you change in the first place if nothing is going to change, if the end result is the same? Think about it as if you always have the answers to a test. Why would you study if you have the answers to the test every single time?
Why would you do the hard work of studying?
Literally.
And learning something if you're going to get a good grade anyways?
Why would you change? Why would you change if you know that you're going to end up in the same relationship? It actually takes more. Why would you study if you know that you're going to have the answers? That's just more work. You're wasting your time.
Exactly. So if you're allowing that man to treat you in that manner, he's never going to change.
Literally.
Like, until and if you change,
always allow it, he's never going to change. I promise you. If you're creating, even if you're not on the verge of breaking up, if you're telling him that you want something to change and he knows that you're still going to be the one in the relationship carrying all the weight, why would he do anything if he knows that the end result is going to be the same thing? Exactly. You're asking him of something, but he doesn't even have to do it because you're going to end up doing it anyway.
Yeah. It's like you're disciplining a child. Like, imagine a child and you're like, stop. But you keep doing that and you let them do it. Why would the child stop doing what they want to do if you're not putting any consequences to it? If you're not, like, telling them, like, stop doing this or this. Like, if you're
Why would they change their behavior if they know that the end result, the outcome is going to be the same? If they know that they're going to get this candy at the end of it no matter what, even if they're throwing tantrums in the mall, they're still going to throw the tantrums in the mall.
Why would they not do what they want to do if they're going to get what they want at the end?
Y'all understand.
Come on.
You'll understand.
Come on, make it make sense. Literally. Stop being delusional.
Right.
That boy does not want you unless he shows that he wants you.
And a man, that's another thing I learned. A boy, a man, whatever, he's not going to do what he doesn't want to do. They have free will just like we do. And if he wants to do something, he would have done it. Exactly. Not even if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to text you, he would have done it. Unless he's, like, literally incapable of doing it, he would have done it.
Unless he physically cannot, he would have done it.
Unless he physically cannot come to his phone. Unless there are other barriers, like, of course not.
Exactly. But stop making excuses. Right. Like, he didn't not text you because he's just not on his phone. He's on his phone every single day. It's glued to the back of his hand.
We all have free will. We are all capable. So stop making excuses. You're just as smart as they are. Probably not. Yes. But you're just like, we all are on the same level. Yeah. So don't dumb it down for them. They can understand. And they're actually smart. That's how they manipulate you back.
Thank you. Wake up, guys.
So actions. Going back to it, are better. No, we got passionate. Actions are way more important than words, and to see change, you have to actually like mean what you say and say what you mean.
110%, and we got to see that.
Yeah, we got to see that improvement, or you're gone.
You're done. Just leave them where they at.
Pertaining to relationships, I think one of them that I really was kind of reminded of is that you should never show somebody your worth. You should never have to, if you think about it and you're thinking about talking or maybe going on a date is different, but if you're talking to someone and texting someone and you walk into this office, this conference area, and you just have a presentation on yourself and you're laying all these things out about yourself. Yeah. Imagine selling this one guy is across from you. And then you have this presentation. You're saying, okay, well, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. They should know that. If they know you, doesn't pertain to dates, obviously, if they don't know you. But if they know who you are, if they know what you can bring to the table, if they know what you can do for them, you should never have to show somebody what it is. They should already know.
Yeah. They should already value you.
Right.
Without you having to like, what's it
to
called?
perform or,
yeah.
or put together a presentation that shows how great you are. You should already know that.
You shouldn't have to explain.
Right.
That at all.
You shouldn't have to show how good you are or how worthy you are to
Quite
somebody.
honestly, it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
You should be telling me why
this
I'm
should
fantastic.
be an audition. This should be a tryout. I shouldn't be the one showing you that I can do this and I can do that. I know that.
Yeah.
That's where having self-worth and knowing yourself, knowing who you are comes from. I know what I can bring to the table.
Yes.
I know what I can give to a job or to a relationship, to a friendship. You should recognize that too. I shouldn't have to show you. I shouldn't have to teach you how to see that.
No.
That's not my job.
Yeah, at all. And if they can't see it, guess what?
Right. And when they don't see it, it comes through in their actions. It comes through in not texting back. It comes through in being late. It comes through in disrespect. It comes through in cheating. Like so many things that it comes through when they don't recognize how good they have it and how good you are. So you should never have to show somebody.
And they'll realize it. Let's just say that. We all know exactly what happens. Let's say they do that and they're disrespecting you and you're like, and you respect yourself, right? Right? You respected yourself?
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. And you removed yourself from that situation and you were like, okay, boundary, boom, forgiveness, but we are leaving them where they're at.
Right.
And then you move past
Because there
that.
will be someone off the bat that's like, wow. Like, I need somebody like that in my life. I want someone by my side to support me like that. I need someone like her as my next employee. I need someone like her to be at our company because of all of the qualities that she exudes, and she knows that she exudes them so that we can see it.
Yes.
Speak on it.
You ate that.
My last one, real quick, is you're in competition with no one. I think high school high school especially will just like put you through the ringer with this. Academic wise, relationship wise, friendship wise, like emotionally, mental health, like every single aspect. You are literally in competition with other people for colleges, like for all of these things that at freaking 18, 17, 16 years old. And the thing is, you are in competition with no one. Absolutely. If you're holding yourself up to what somebody else did, their path is completely different from yours. I can't talk to that.
I know. We get what you're saying.
Your path is completely different from theirs.
Yes.
You don't have to, like, what are you comparing yourself to? Yourself? Like, this is literally your own life where you're making moves and you're making decisions and you'll eventually end up in a good place, but it doesn't matter how fast you get there.
It doesn't matter what the person next to you is doing. And
right.
I definitely agree that high school will kind of put this in our heads, like rank and just this and that and like scores and like admissions and like everything. Like, guys, like,
let's
breathe
calm
in and
down.
breathe out. It's gonna be okay. And you do all that you can. Remember, you sleep peacefully at night. You're doing all that you can.
You put your best foot forward.
You do. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the person next to you is doing.
Right.
Focus on what you're doing and get that done so you can sleep peacefully. And whatever is out of your control remains out of your control. Because
another thing is, God could be doing something in their life that has a completely different assignment from yours. God could be doing something in your life that requires you to be in this position that you're in, and this other person in this other position.
Yeah.
God's plans for our life and his visions for our life are tailored to us. So what happens for one person is not going to be the same. That's not God's plan. That's God's plan for everybody. That's everybody's plan. That's not our plan. Yeah. That's not what we have destined for us. So you just have to rest in knowing that God has ultimate control over everything, and everything that he does is for a reason. He never wastes a moment, an opportunity to teach you, to give you something, to put you in a position. It's always something.
Yeah. And I feel like that it really like boils down to like comparison issues. And like really quick, like let's just like a word of advice from Mia, you know, if you're dealing with like really bad comparison issues, now this might not be the healthiest solution, but hear me out. Okay. Compare yourself to somebody worse than you. Compare yourself to somebody worse in the business, because you're going to become...
I guess because you could always be doing worse.
You could always be doing worse. And also, you're going to be more grateful.
Yes. That's what really comes...
hating
that
on
gratitude.
Yes.
That
you're
gratitude.
You're going to be like, wow. Like, I'm really hating that I got an 82. but I could have gotten a 46.
Right.
Like, you need to like start doing like comparing yourself to something worse. And that'll help a little. Like, maybe that'll help a little. I don't know. I've cured my comparison because I cannot do it. Like, I cannot mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Give me another. Yeah. Give me another one.
I think emotionally, physically, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all.
I think mine was cured when you realize that God has like literally sees you as like perfect in his eyes. Like, not that everything you do is perfect, but what he created, the way that you look, the way that you smile, the way that your hair looks, the way that your body looks is perfect to him in his eyes. So why would you try to be a mimic of something else? Like, if God is saying, the creator of the whole earth that made the seas, the air, the winds, everything, is saying, you are perfect. I created you in your mother's womb. Why would you want to be different?
Yeah. If God loves you, love yourself.
Yay.
Yay.
I love that outro.
Because
it's like real.
Outro. Yeah. I mean, God loves you, so why wouldn't you love you?
Right. If the creator of earth loves you, why wouldn't you love
yourself? Like, let's really think about it. Like, what are you doing?
If the creator loves the creation, why doesn't the creation love the creation?
Exactly. And if me and Kennedy love you, then why wouldn't you love yourself too?
If we love everybody that's listening,
ever. We do. Is that good?
Yeah.
Good little pivot.
If we love everybody that's listening, why can't you love yourself? You're beautiful.
We'll love you for you. Okay. Yeah. Like, if maybe
until
some
you
days
do. Until you take over.
Maybe some days you won't, but like, come on, like, our backs are hurting.
Come on, guys, we're carrying the burden. We're carrying the weight. You gotta take it off, okay?
Thank you guys for listening so
much.
I
said the same thing.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Me and Kennedy are
we're so annoying. Thank you guys for listening.
Dear outro.
No.
Oh wait.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I actually wasn't even gonna say anything. I wanted you to do it.
No, but really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you actually wasn't gonna force me to.
I wasn't.
You know what, guys? She actually didn't say anything this time. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Why am I like asking them? Didn't I just talk about how I wasn't gonna?
You're talking to nobody.
No, but didn't I just say that I wasn't gonna like? Because what if I regretted it? See,
look, I'm shut doing it. Up. Go.
I just asked them that though, guys.
Oh my God.
That's really bad. Okay, sorry. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much. Check out our Instagram, The Silver Lining with MK. We have our link tree on there with all important links that you would need. We're on over 25 listening platforms, and if you felt so inclined, you can go put a nice comment on there and rate it 5 stars. Because you're dense if you don't.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Insult them to get the stars. Yeah. They're like, she's so mean to me.
So, no, we're not. I'm not mean. We just said that we loved them.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Exactly. This is like tough love. Like, go freaking do it. And go to our Instagram. Go to our Instagram right now, okay? And go to like this little advice highlight and put whatever you want. We just said advice to our past selves. We want to say advice to y'all situations or whatever it is that you want us to speak on. Because I'm pretty, like, we're kind of like realistically, if we're being realistic for 1 second, please, we're the smartest people on earth. So,
yeah.
I wouldn't want advice from anybody else if it wasn't Mia and Kennedy. So I just think that you should just, you should just use us as like a moral compass.
Yeah. You done?
Yeah, I think that
we have a YouTube.
Rats. Go ahead.
We have a YouTube at The Silver Lining with M&K. Nothing there yet. Just a couple shorts if you wanted to listen.
TikTok.
Yes, I was getting there. Our Instagram has really important things. You get to know what we post first. So I would click the follow button. We do have like more interactive stuff coming, like polls and that advice link. So I would go to our Instagram. We have a TikTok at The Silver Lining with M&K. A couple of videos up there if you want to go check it out. And we are on over 25 plus listening platforms, as we said. Give us 5 stars. If you don't,
I feel like a kid.
I was gonna say your mom.
I was just about to say something like that. I feel like a kid, and I didn't wash the dishes correctly, and you're like rewashing them. Like that's
that's how you feel right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm trained. Correctly. I'm trained.
You're trained to do it.
Yeah. What was your silver lining of this episode?
Go first. Go first.
She like real life buffered, y'all. She buffered.
I lagged. I'm not gonna lie.
Mine is probably
I think mine is going to be the forgiving, but like setting boundaries after and being like goodbye if necessary.
I think mine is like knowing your worth and knowing who you are, because that translates in every part of your life. And then also not settling for anything. Yeah. What else? Leave us a review. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Deezer. Do you know what Deezer is? We're on like all
yes,
of
of course. We're on there.
Love you,
Thank
Deezer.
you so much.
We are on all of these listening platforms. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Literally can't even laugh because my core hurts so bad.
We have been in the gym, y'all. That's another time.
I know. Sorry. Bye,
time,
guys. I just want to talk about the gym all the time. I'm so annoying. Goodbye.
She's just such a gym rat.
Shut your. Oh.
Bye.